Garcia was out. Now who was next? Who was the next best guy that I could that I could fight? Yeah. And we reached out. Well, they came with full tennis. We said yeah. We said let's do it, but we want to do that 147.
Recently, Devin Haney did an interview with The Ring magazine, and he touched on a lot of things in this interview that I would like to talk about. One in particular is the Boots fight, which Devin would be as smart as a goat to take a fight like that. Haney can never be mentioned with Boots unless it's carrying any's belts. He gives shit interviews too. Haney definitely got that CTE talk going for him already.
I'm excited for.
It would probably be in his best interest to not take any more left hooks in his career. Now, in terms of fighting Boots, the best outcome from that fight, potentially for Haney, is him getting praise for stepping in the ring. Boots comes in like a fucking double-axle truck, trying to take your head off from the inception. And I don't think Devin with his pillow fist will get Boots respect. Devin, levels above him Haney. Yeah, Devin always claiming his levels above someone. Isn't that what he said about Ryan Garcia? And we all know how that fight turned out.
Daddy, I like when you scrambling and scraping.
I know a couple Devin Haney fanboys will be like, Ryan took steroids. Okay, whatever you guys need to cope. The way this guy talks is like, these guys are journeymen and he is fucking Usyk. You're not Usyk. You got beat the fuck up by a drunk, off the rockers Ryan Garcia.
I'm on fire. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. I'll break this whole thing right now. That's how I'm firing. I'm strong. I'm strong.
What's that Dr. Pepper?
But anyways, let's see what he's talking about in this interview. As I said before, it's an interview with The Ring magazine. Let's take a look. So, the interview starts off with Devin being asked about his feelings about the Brian Norman Jr. fight. And it looks like Devin will never learn, because here is what he said.
Yeah, we're obviously in New York kicking off your fight with Brian Norman Jr. New weight, new belt to collect for yourself. Yeah. How excited are you the challenge of Brian Norman Jr.?
I'm excited for to be 3-division champion. God willing. Brian Norman, he's just another opponent, just another stepping stone. But I'm excited. He's the best guy in the 147-pound division. So when I beat him, that makes me the best.
I think this is where Devin Haney loses a lot of people. It's this Floyd Mayweather talking style, without the Floyd Mayweather prowess. What do you mean he is just a stepping stone? This is the same kind of mentality that had you cheeks up in the air, looking like you were waiting for Diddy to take action. This is the same type of talk that had your jaw looking like this. The most important thing is to not fear your opponent, but show them respect. The sport that you are in is a combat sport, and anything can happen. Anybody can knock out anybody. It just takes the correct placement, or the right timing, so it would be reckless to overlook your opponent before the fight. Nobody would have expected Munguia to be knocked out by Sir Ace, but it happened. Bro had 5 knockouts in 26 fights. That should give you even more reason to treat the Norman fight like it's insanely difficult, because Norman can definitely crack. And plus his confidence is at an all-time high, after that last win.
As of late, he's collected a lot of highlight-reel knockouts, one of Santillana, the most recent one of Jun Sasaki. From your point of view, have you been impressed with Norman Jr. and his performances and his knockouts?
He's put on good performances, but he's put on performances against guys we've never heard of. I don't know not one person on his resume. We know that Top Rank has the best matchmakers in the game, and they've shown that time and time again. And I think that's what his resume shows. Shows that guys that he's supposed to knock out, he's supposed to do that too. He's been doing it.
I must admit, Norman doesn't have the best resume or anything, but he does have a couple good names on his record, so I can't exactly blame him for not being impressed. But that is like the pot calling the kettle black in a sense. All the most notable wins on Devin's record are fighters who were either past their prime, too small for him, or just not as good as people thought. His most notable win is Loma, and people thought he lost that fight. So, I don't know what grounds he has to speak. He won undisputed by fighting this bum. Let that sink in.
So for yourself, you don't really read too much into it, because you know what boxing fans are like. A few knockouts, people get excited, this is the new guy.
Yeah, no, for sure. You're supposed to be excited. I'm not saying that he's not a power puncher. I'm not saying he doesn't hit hard. He's not strong. I definitely think that he's all that, but against the right guys.
Bro, the exact same thing could be said about you. The only time you look somewhat good is against people who are small, or people who are not that good. Let's look at your opponent's career after you faced them. Just after you beat Linares, he went on a 3-fight losing streak and hasn't won a fight since. Diaz won 2 of his last 7 fights after facing you. He was even stopped in one of those fights. Kambosos won 2 of his last 4 fights after facing you. Some may even say 1, because they believe he lost to Maxi. After Lomas' fight with you, he fought Kambosos and retired to duck tank. And also, People said you didn't win that fight. Regis lost his very next fight after facing you. Garcia beat your brains in and then lost to Rolly. And your last fight you ran around the ring and giving us the most boring fight in 2025. Probably ever. And that wasn't me cherry picking opponents, that was it in order. With all that being said, you have no room to talk about level of opponents and not being impressed.
You mentioned there about yourself being young, and you were thrown onto the world stage earlier on in your career. Albeit young, you still feel like you've got so much left in the game. How do you feel like that experience that you've had so far has shaped you now? I guess the man you are, but especially in your career too.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's made me the fighter that I am today. You know, from our experience, from me sharing the rings with the best of the best fighters, guys like Loma, legends of the game. It'll just show that, you know, this is my first time that I'm fighting a guy that's younger than me, that I got more experience than, that I'm. So, you know, it will show just how much levels I am above him.
It's funny how the only person he can mention as an experienced opponent is Loma. As I showed you, the only experience his opponents have is losing continuously, and Devin is always levels above somebody. Wait until he gets knocked out again. We will see what he says then.
In terms of the competition you faced, where do you think Norman Jr. ranks?
I don't know. I got to share the ring with him. I can't say. I don't know. I don't know how good he is, but like I said, he's done what he was supposed to do against the guys that they put in front of him. You know, I'm on a whole different level. I've been at this level since I was 20, 21 years old.
Stop kidding yourself, Devin. You are not on some unfathomable level people can't dare to imagine. You are an okay boxer. That's it. You aren't the second coming of Floyd. You aren't Bud. You aren't Usyk. You are good. But that's it. In terms of where Norman ranks on your opponent list, he is number 2 behind Loma. So don't kid yourself.
So this is nothing new for me. This is new for him. This is his big moment. This is his first time at the top. I've been here.
Do you think that could be too much for him then?
No, it will be too much. You know, against a guy like me. You know, like I said, I'm going to show that I'm levels above him. I've been fighting these guys at the top level, the best of the best fighters in the world for some time now. He hasn't. I'm the first guy at the top that he's fought. Other than that, like I said, I genuinely don't know not one person that he's beat. I don't know not one person. I don't even think you know. You tell me. Do you know name somebody?
Giovanni Santalam.
I don't even know who that is.
Jin Sasaki.
I don't know who he is neither. I swear, I don't know. But you.
Those are the 2 biggest wins I'll say of his career. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you probably watch boxing more than me, maybe.
Bro, not because you've never heard of those fighters, that means that he fought nobody. There are amazing fighters in the lower weight classes, and I can guarantee you almost nobody would knows who they are, either because they aren't marketed right or people are not keeping up with all those people actively. Also in foreign countries, there are excellent boxers, but no one has heard of them. But when they get the chance, some of them come to America and pull off upsets. Who know? Probably you knew those guys, but after the Ryan fight you forgot them.
Maybe it's your job to know.
Yeah. I should have named more, but yeah. Okay, I guess
do you know who has Devin Haney fought? Let's hear it.
Vasily Lomachenko,
Okay.
Regis Prograis,
Okay.
Ryan Garcia,
Okay.
Jose Ramirez.
Okay.
I feel like I'm missing George Cambosis times 2.
Okay.
Which, you know, this is something we're going to get onto.
Jojo Diaz.
Diaz.
You know, we can go.
Jorge
Linares.
My brother, with all due respect, some of those fighters were journeymen champions at best, and when you fought them, they were past their prime days. Going 12 rounds with Gamboa is not a flex, my guy. Beating Cambosos is not a flex, my guy. Beating Jojo Diaz is definitely not a flex. Anyways, the interview then asked Devin about moving on from super lightweight to this higher weight class. This is what he said.
Yeah, no, I feel good. Obviously, I haven't done the exact fight yet at 147. My last fight was at a catch weight, and I feel great. I made the weight super easy, and you know, this fight, I'll be feeling even better. I feel like I'll be much stronger, and won't have to focus on weight. You know, last camp, I feel like that, but this camp, I feel even better.
I believe that good feeling you are feeling is you not bullying your body to be at a weight it should not be at. That is what generally happens when you fight at your natural weight class and stop trying to fight smaller guys. The one downside to that, though, is that with your suspect chin, you will be in a lot more trouble because the guys punch harder.
Well, we just listed the resume there, and you know, Norman Jr. He's another guy that would be a big name in your resume. I want you to talk about your mentality that there isn't many guys like yourself who, no matter who it is, you're ready to take the challenge.
When I beat him, they wouldn't be like another big name on my resume. It was gonna be a guy. Oh, they're gonna say, oh, he was supposed to do that. He was supposed to beat him. He was supposed to. They're gonna say all these same things that I'm saying now. They're gonna say then.
Devin, nobody is saying you are supposed to beat Norman. People expect this to be a good competitive fight that could go either way. It could be you running, pot-shotting your way to victory, or Norman turning your lights off. With that being said, nobody sees you as some astronomical favorite in this fight. Your last 2 fights were disasters. I don't know who is telling you this information. The interview then asked Devin a very good question, and here, Devin shows his full delusion in practice.
Yeah. And when you look in the mirror and you look at yourself, you can talk it, but doing it as well, how much confidence do you feel like, and how much sort of do you look at yourself to give confidence knowing that no matter what I say, I back it up, unlike others?
No, I don't have to say anything. You can look. The proof is in the pudding. You can look at my body of work. You can look at the names. Look at the fights the people that I fought. So I can say what I want to say, but all these other guys, they say it, but they don't have the resume to show it. My resume actually shows it.
Devin, if your resume was an indicator of the type of fighter you were, you would be a bum. The guys you fought do not say top of boxing. Those wins you got aged like milk in a heat wave. How many of your opponents went on to do great things in boxing after you beat them? Almost none of them.
Away from that, I did want to ask you, because I haven't had a chance to yet. We know that there was talk of a Teofimo Lopez fight potentially in August. That didn't come to fruition. I'm sure your side, you was all ready for that, but it seemed like on the other side it weren't the case. I guess what was the deal with that from your point of view with Tio?
Yeah, listen, at the end of the day, my side, I agreed on everything on my side. I signed everything. The ball was in Tio's hands to do the same thing, and he didn't. Simple as that.
Oddly enough, I actually believe him on the TEO fight. TEO might be on stuff the DEA have not even discovered as yet. That dude is a little too sporadic for that to be normal. He needs to get off that shit immediately before he starts losing memory like Devin.
Was that frustrating for yourself?
No, I mean, we're just like, all right, boom, now we on to the next. He talked all this, called me out multiple times, and then when it came time to actually do it, he reneged. So, now it was like, okay, Ryan Garcia was out, Tio was out. Now who was next? Who was the next best guy that I could fight? Yeah. And we reached out. Well, they came with boots in us. We said let's do it, but we want to do that 147. They came back with 152. Like, why would I fight at 152? I never fought at 147. No, we can do it at 147 or not.
Boots already moved up to 154. It would have been an inconvenience for him to come down to 147 also. And let's do a hypothetical, and Boots actually went down to 147. Devin would be out of his mind to take that fight. There is like a 10% chance he would have won that fight. Boots is too strong and too skilled for Devin. Everything Devin could do, Boots could do. And to top it all off, he has power. He does get hit a lot, but Devin wouldn't be able to hurt him, so that would have been a total mismatch for Devin. He should thank the universe that fight didn't come to terms. Anyways, that's all for today, folks. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.